probably of the day so far. And he's back on the left.
Yeah, he's going to stay busy loading up. We feel an airs coming. Wow. Big old straighty with the completion for Cole Houshmand. He throws his hands up in the air. Well, like I mentioned, Cole Houshmand was the winner of the men's. So we're going to take a look at the men's final bracket because it actually was quite a hard journey for Cole to take the victory here. Started off in the quarterfinals against Ian Gavea, who has won here before. Then took down Jarvis, Earle, who was just in fine form here in Ballito. And then Weslley Dantas, who we've said time and time again was the dark horse. But even just the top 8 in the quarterfinals, Paul, anyone could have taken a win and you wouldn't have been surprised.
No, but we have been talking about the CT surfers coming in and what's different about them. And I would identify Cole as someone that wouldn't be too worried about whoever he's coming up against, regardless of what they've done in the previous round. I just think he's earned the right to have that much confidence and not to be too worried about his opponent. But hey, he mentioned in his interview that he knew that he was going to see this kind of stuff from King Dantas. So, it was definitely in his mind, and that's why he made the switch down the beach, and then this happened, Grego.
Yeah, Cole, but I loved this single maneuver from Cole. It was just the 4-3-3. If he had, done a bit more of that, he could have bumped that score up, but loved the power base.
And then for Weslley to start off with this 7-8-3, this was a big moment for Cole to go, okay, I need to paddle down the beach and apply some pressure, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you set out your tactic, but you also make a point where, well, when do I go to plan B? A reset. What would make me rethink and go, you know what? I actually need to mix this up now. And that was the exact moment to do it. He still had enough time left. Actually, it's interesting to see how few waves he actually rode after this moment as well. So crucial. How many other waves like this came through for the rest of the heat? Maybe none. Maybe there weren't any other ramps actually like that. So to be there, I mean, we talk about luck and fortune and the random nature, but you kind of got to make that happen for yourself. That's an absolutely massive straight air, which is so cool. We see a lot of rotations. You don't see loads of them. What a way to win an event.
Yeah, I mean, Cole Houshmand, you can tell he has a lot of support in his corner. Working with Matty Myers again this year. Having another win here between the two of them would just feel exceptional for what it is, an amazing combo. Cole Houshmand, there's the final results, 8-9 and a 4-3-3. We were nervous about that 4-3-3 for a little while, but it was enough to get the win over Weslley Dantas.
Can I make another bold prediction about Cole Houshmand?
Please.
He would likely finish in the top 10. I've seen he's won an event, but who knows? But he won't need that anyway. So if he is inside the top 10 on the challenge, he's going to re-qualify through the CT. So good news for surfers down in 11 or 12, because I don't think he'll need to take his spot. I think he's going to do it through the CT.
I love this. I can't wait to get more of Paul's predictions. We're
No, that's it. That's all I got.
What? Oh, well, that's a bummer, isn't it? Well, let's take a look at the women's side of the draw and light the mood again, because it was a stacked field as well on that women's side. I mean, just like Cole, Teresa didn't have an easy just draw to go to the final. She had to start off with Eden Walla in the quarterfinals, which we were calling that she was pretty well going to take this one out. Then she came up against Sol Aguirre in the semi-finals, and then, of course, the all-Portuguese women final. The Euros kicking off with a bang again, Greg.
Yeah, it's a huge result for them, and both Teresa and Kicker had very tough heats. To get through. They had on-form surfers, they had local favourites. I mean, Kika had to take down Sarah Baum in a very strong heat. But yeah, all in all, it was a good battle, many rounds of surfing, and Teresa really doing well with strong surfing on her backhand, big powerful vertical turns, and coming out the champion. She worked hard for this one.
And Teresa just was so cool, calm, collected this whole time, Paul.
Yeah, I think, I think there's a bit of turmoil. We heard, some glimpses of that, a bit of insight in her interview as well afterwards. I think she's been, on a bit of an emotional ride the last couple of seasons. And what an outlet for it as well. What a way to express yourself back to form, coming up against someone that you know a lot about. We talked about the rivalries as well. They're friends, sure, but seeing someone younger than you come up sort of after you, kind of take your spot, that's how you got to feel about it when you're at this level. So this will feel great for her. Just another interesting point as well about that bracket, just 2 surfers from the 8 coming from the CT. That's a surprise for us. We would expect, maybe at least half. It's what we've seen here in the past. It is surfers with a CT experience that have tended to dominate, but in this final, it was Teresa that did it.
Yeah, there's just a lot of emotion that we saw as soon as Teresa hit the sand, and There would definitely be a little bit of inner turmoil, like you mentioned, Paul, to see Yolanda and Kika both on that CT and to not be there. You can see it really lit this new inner fire for Teresa, Greg.
Yeah, she's amped and also to surf against these other girls and the CT surfers, it will really make her feel that she should be part of that tour, and she's going to have a great run from here. And it is a good talking point, having the championship tour surfers joining us in this event. It shows you how strong and how high the level is at challenger surfer level, and it's going to get an even bigger following now that we've got so many big names to look forward to, and how they can take it to their higher ranked surfers.
The other thing I think is quite interesting about Teresa as well, I mean, you look at those numbers in the funnel, they're pretty much, they're not big scores. She had moments throughout the event, but we didn't really see her best surfing, actually. I would say by her own standards, she wasn't even really close to that. So there's a couple of ways you can take that. But one thing I find interesting is sometimes you just wonder, like, where's my luck? Like, how am I'm in form, I'm not making heats. And it's that one thing that you can't really do much about, the change. And when you go all the way to win an event, there are a couple of moments where you were exposed, your opponent needed a 4 or 5, and they couldn't quite do it, they fell. I think maybe those are the things where you think, well, this could be my season, the stars are aligning, everything's starting to click for me.
Just because myself, Greg, and the fans really do want more Paul's predictions, so I'm going to make it happen. The 4 finalists that we saw today, Cole, Weslley, obviously Teresa and Kika, do you see them going back-to-back results between here and the US Open?
Well, I mean, Cole would be a heavy favourite at the US Open. Elsewhere, I'm not so sure. I think we might see new finalists.
Okay, can you give me a name?
Not at this stage, no.
Devo, Greg, can you give me a name? Someone who you think is going to go out and just blaze the US Open?
I think I did give you a name already, Sierra Kerr.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go Eden Walla.
My bad. Oh, love this. I love this. I just think both of those women have so much potential, especially there's going to be a little bit of size, and both of them do tend to thrive when the waves get a bit bigger. Let's take a look at our Women's Challenger Series rankings. Teresa Bonvalot sits on top with a win here from today. Kika Veselko, second. Sol Aguirre, third. And then as we start to look down the list, a couple of names that I really like the look of being in that top 10. One of them being Laura Rupp.
Yeah, she's been blazing, actually. She's been in really good form. Unlucky to get that injury. She was dealing with some serious pain. We saw her go out and just smash heats, get like massive scores, and then could barely walk up the beach here at Ballito. She was hobbling. So if you think she can surf like that, when physically she's feeling some discomfort, imagine what she's going to do when she's back to full form.
Let's talk about the Canadian, Greg. Sanoa Denfrey-Olin. We'd love to see another Canadian surfer on the championship tour.
Yeah, she's actually surprised me in this event. Got some good scores, a couple of good heat wins as well. So she's definitely up there, and be interesting to see how she tackles the rest of the Challenger.
I'll be the first to mention the Aussies in there, Sierra Kerr and Ellie Harrison. Stoked to see a couple of Aussie flags flying in that women's side as well. There's a couple of surfers who you'd have to think will probably have to stand up pretty well at the US Open. Some of those CT women like we spoke about. But someone who was well and truly in that conversation for qualification was Soph McCulloch. Didn't have that solid start at this event. So you'd have to think maybe the US Open, it's her time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, 5 events, you're already into the second one. Kind of at that stage, you really want to have something, just show yourself a bit of form. Obviously, the points are important as well, but build up a bit of momentum on this tour. We did mention about the events coming in clusters. The US Open's coming up real soon, and then after that, bit of a gap before we go Brazil and then Portugal. So out of this kind of double header, if you didn't get a result here, you really need to step up in California.
Let's take a look at the men's rankings as well, because this one, really interesting. Obviously, in number 1 is going to be Cole Houshmand, CT surfer. And then we start to look down the list. Some names that I personally love in this top 10, Jarvis, Earle, Taj Lindblad, of course Weslley Dantas, but Jackson Bunch, I think there would be surf fans across the world who would be stoked to see him have another crack at that CT, Greg.
Yeah, Jackson was definitely a dark horse, not a dark horse, but one that I was earmarking to win this event. He was lightning fast. He actually sort of got caught up in the Weslley Dantas display and matched him down the beach. He should have just stayed on that right-hander. I reckon he could have won the heat like that. But Jackson's, I think he's going to find himself back on the CT for sure. Dane Henry, absolute standout. And for me, someone that surprised me, and I really enjoyed their surfing. Not surprised me, but I haven't seen that much of his Taj Limblad. I loved his power-based surfing. I love that he's got a bit of size and a bit of muscle and power behind him, and I think he's going to be a surfer that's going to really, if he can get to the CT, will suit those sort of waves.
Jackson also feels like someone who'd really benefit from getting that full tour as well. Obviously, he got cut, but how versatile he is. I think if he can qualify and get a full swing, I think he's going to thrive on that.